Our next speaker would be Mr. Apoorv Sharma. And my question to you, Apoorv, is that what are the multiple dimensions of the startup ecosystem and how do you build a startup? So, would love to hear your thoughts on this, and even the audience would be more than happy to know your thoughts on this. Over to you, Apoorv.
Hey, thank you, Devesh. Um, I think you and Nikita have already covered most of it, right? So I'll start with a brief introduction of myself. So I'm a part of the Indian startup ecosystem for more than a decade now. I've been an entrepreneur myself. I've worked at multiple incubation centers, have worked into corporate innovation, and currently I'm leading the South Asian market strategy for 500 Global. Now, 500 Global is a venture capital firm. We have invested in more than 2,600 startups, and we have around 45 unicorns in our portfolio. And this makes us one of the most active venture capital firm globally. Right. So now, I have spent most of my professional career in, helping the entrepreneurs to build these products at a very early stage. Right. So as Nikita mentioned, right, there is a lot of support ecosystem available um, nowadays, right? So you have multiple incubators and accelerators present. You have these initiatives by the government, like the Startup India movement, the Niti Aayog Atal Innovation Mission. So first of all, you should ideally leverage those ecosystems. Now, coming up, what to do about when you get an idea, right? So, being in the VC industry, we receive multiple applications on a daily basis at an idea level. But honestly, what matters most is how you're going to execute it, right? So now, what's the difference between at a fundamental level? What's the difference between let's say MSME or a business and a startup? So startup basically, is experimental in nature. That's why you see that there is such a high rate of failure, right? You are trying out something which might not have been tried yet, right? In the shape and form you are trying to implement it, right? So it's like a series of experiments and a series of validation, right? So start from the problem validation. So the most important thing is uh, try to build something which is solving a really big problem, and the solution which you are providing is the value which your solution is providing is significant over the current alternatives available, right? So I think that's perhaps the first step to build a scalable startup, right? Again, around ideas. So I have honestly not seen so far that someone has logged himself or herself in a room to get a good startup idea for a day, and they by the end of the day they got a good idea, right? So ultimately, you need to focus on the problems around you and how you can solve them, right? So first of all, go and start with a problem validation. Is your problem real or not? Then just go ahead and start validate your idea. That is the solution which you are providing makes sense or not, right? Then just go ahead and validate your product, build a MVP, a minimum viable product, and validate if it is actually solving the purpose or not. Then just go ahead and validate if it makes from an economics perspective, from a profit perspective, if it makes sense to execute that, and then go ahead and validate if we are going to do it on a scale. Is it going to make a profitable venture or not? So that's a very brief introduction on how you can go about if you have any idea and want to move it in the market. Over to you, Devesh.
Thanks, Apoorv. That was really insightful and a quick one, crisp and to the point.